So, last person. We're good on time. No? Okay. Well, so we talked about worshiping God in spirit and truth. So, faith-filled, we're talking about that. But now, I think we're trying to figure out, like, okay, so we know what worship is. We know what to do, in a sense. But I want us to understand who we're worshiping. And can anyone think of a time in history when there was perfect worship? When people were able to worship God perfectly. While you're thinking about that, this is what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about perfect worship because that is our motivation, right? That is the ideal standard. Perfect worship, how are we going to achieve that? And then we're going to talk about the attributes of God. And then we're going to talk about our response or our call to worship. So this is going to be really Socratic, I guess, in way of teaching, and then we're going to keep breaking up in screws, but I think you're all used to that. So did anyone mention, let's go back to the first point, perfect worship. Did anyone mention or know about a certain time in history when there was perfect worship, people were able to worship God perfectly? Before the fall. That is correct. Before the fall. Biblical scholar. So before the fall. So let's think about the circumstances of Eden before the fall. What was so special about Eden before the fall? There was no sin. Yeah, there's no sin. And that comes up, that actually has a lot of ramifications. So if there's no sin, think about what it's like. If you were there, no sin yet, there's no pride, there's no stress, there's also no time frame. It's kind of unlimited in time. There's no church yet. It's just Adam and Eve, just you and your spouse, chilling. You have direct communion with God. You can access it perfectly. There's nothing there to prevent you from doing that. So we're going to go into the first discussion question. So what did perfect worship look like in the Garden of Eden before sin? So I kind of named the circumstances. So think about it. No sin. What would it look like? Would it look like how our worship is today? What we do at church every week? Or how we approach our friendships? So gather around the people near you. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what perfect worship really looks like.